Hi everyone, it's Chris, and today we're going to write a fun game, and one that's based off of a toy that you might be familiar with, which is called the Magic-8 ball. If you're familiar with it, what you do is you shake the ball and then it gives you a response when you ask it a question. So this is a great program if you're new to Python, and the best part is I'm going to go through this so that you can either follow along or maybe you can write it out, whatever you want to do so that you can then go and program this yourself. Now, if you saw one of my previous videos, I showed you how to install the Spider Python IDE. Okay, that's Integrated Development Environment. So that's essentially a program that you can use to code this. So make sure that you check out that video if you don't have your own Python IDE installed. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import a module that's called random. So over here on the left, you'll see me typing the code. And I'm just going to hit enter. So random, what that does is it's a module that you can either specify different data points and it'll randomly pick one of those, or depending on what you want to use, you can just tell it, hey, give me a random, for instance, integer between some beginning and end value, and it'll just randomize and return that. But you'll see that in the game, we're going to control that randomness and what it returns so that we can create our Magic-8 ball. So the first thing we'll do is type import random, and then of course I hit enter. And now I'm going to create something that's called a list. And what a list does is it is a data type that can hold different values. So Python's pretty interesting because in a lot of different programming languages, for instance, an array will have to hold a certain type of data type. But in Python, you can mix it up. So lists are extremely powerful. They're used everywhere in Python. So starting out, this is a great thing for you to learn. So we're going to call our list responses. Now in here, and the way you start a list is with brackets, okay? So as you can see there, I hit the brackets, and I'm going to just go ahead and enter a couple times. And then I'm going to put my cursor up here, and then I'm going to hit enter. And what this is going to allow me to do is to just list out all the different responses within the Magic-8 ball, one line at a time. And we'll go through that. So the first one we'll put is our answer will be yes, and then definitely. Okay. Now, one thing is after you put the answer in, you want to hit a comma, and that allows you to put your next entry. Okay. So the next one we'll put is no way. And then, of course, remember, I need a comma because I'm adding this to my list. And then the next one will be ask again later. And I've written down a piece of paper some of the responses that a Magic-8 ball actually uses. And then we want to use absolutely. And then, of course, a comma. So I want to continue to enter things in here. Not a chance. And if you notice that, you'll see that I'm putting everything within double quotes. And double quotes allow me to enter in what's called a string between them. Okay, so I put that comma in there, and then the next one is the one that everyone loves. It is uncertain. And this is a pretty fun little program because you can actually show it to someone and it's actually fun. Without a doubt. Of course, put that comma in there. And the last one will be, sorry, my cursor moved over there. Better not tell you now. Dot, dot, dot. Okay. One thing to note is if you notice I didn't put a comma here after the last entry. That's because I'm ending it with the bracket So that's important that you don't put that entry. So as you can notice, right here is an empty line, and then I'll bring that bracket in, and there's nothing else, so that's the end of that. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is we're going to create what's called a while loop. Okay, and all that means is essentially while something is happening, we're just going to continue to run our game. So while true, what do we want to do? We want to ask the question. Now, question equals, right? So we're going to assign the answer into what's called the variable that is called question. And then input, what that allows me to do is get actually input from the user on the command line. And you'll see when we run this that it'll prompt, and then the user will be able to put in an answer, basically an option. So it'll say ask a yes or no question, or I'll put or type quit to exit. Okay. So as long as we don't type the word quit, this will run. Okay. And then what I'll do here is put a colon and a space just so that it looks a little nice when we run it. And then what we can do is we can say if question, and we'll just lowercase this in case somebody types in quit with like a capital Q, and equals quit. Okay, so of course we're lowercasing it. So if the question, so if whatever they answer, which will be stored in question, and then that dot lower just means take whatever they type in there, put a lowercase. So again, you could put capital Q, you could put lowercase, it doesn't matter. It'll lowercase it, and then if it's equal to, and you notice there's two equal signs. Now, one equal sign is what's called an assignment. That means you're putting a value into something. Two equal signs is an equivalency. So it says if whatever they type equals this, whatever that value is, then we're going to do something, okay? And after that, we have to put a colon. So this is called an if statement. So if the question answer is quit, then we will escape, and we'll type in print, and then we'll just say something like goodbye, thanks for playing. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here is hit enter, and I'm going to just use a break, and that'll just essentially get us out of our loop and end the game. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to print Magic-8 ball says, and then we're going to put a comma and put random dot choice and a responses, okay, and then we're going to just print out just a character here just to kind of put something between if someone wants to continuously play. All right, so this, let me just walk through this part. So we said if the question, right, equals quit, then we stop. And we stop, let me get all this out of here, through this break. So that break, what it does is it says, all right, stop the loop, get out of the program. Okay, it ends the program. Otherwise, if they type something other than that, if they put yes, okay, or, they ask some question, whatever, then it's going to say, in response to their question, Magic-8 ball says, and then it's going to give you the response, okay? So, let's do this. I'm going to hit an enter here, and I'm going to say print, and I'll say you asked, and then comma, and then question. Now, just keeping this simple. So it's going to print out the question that you asked, and then right below it, it will print the answer that the Magic-8 ball says. All right, so let's save this and let's run it, and you'll see it over here on the right. So it'll say, ask a yes or no question. I'll say, is Python fun? And it says, you asked, is Python fun? Magic-8 ball says, no way. All right. Now, one thing, and this is what's part of programming that is fun, is I'm going to stop this by hitting the little stop icon over here on the right. So I interrupted it. And then I'm going to clear the console. And what I did is I went up to console. You can't see that on the screen, but I went to console and just did a restart kernel. So that clears that up. Now, this is part of programming that, in my opinion, is fun because you're starting to tweak the program. So I want to just print out just a blank line here. And what that's going to do is between the questions, it's going to give us a couple of spaces between it. And by doing that, I'm just putting the \n. That means put a space. And you see there's two of them in there, so it's going to put two spaces. And what this does is between each question, it just cleans it up a little bit. Okay. And then right here, I'm just going to put this line a little bit longer so that it gives us a nice line between it. And in fact, in here, I'm also going to print just another line in there so that it puts a space between the question. And let's see, right here, let's do this. So I put another space there. All right, so again, this is just a little bit of formatting. I'm going to save this. I'm going to run it. All right, so ask a question. Let's try this again. Is Python fun? And now you see it's a little spaced out, a little nicer. You asked, is Python fun? Again, the magic ball says no way. All right, fine. Is Chris a good teacher? I like that answer. So it asks, is Chris a good teacher? Magic-8 ball says absolutely. And as you can see, you know, if you're showing that with a friend of yours or something, even at a party, that could be fun. And of course, in the responses, you could put your own responses in there and be as creative as you want and, you know, have a little bit of fun with this. So I hope this was fun. I hope you learned a lot. We actually used a lot of different things that are used in Python. If you found this to be a little challenging or hard to follow, hopefully I wasn't the problem. It's a little tricky when you're trying to teach these things, but I do have a course that steps through things very, very slowly, very methodically, far more than this because we're just programming a course here. I'm kind of assuming that you already know a little bit of Python. So if you are new to Python or you don't know it at all, check out the link below for a discount to my course. It'll absolutely teach you Python. But again, I hope you enjoyed this program. I'll come out with some more. And if you have any suggestions on a game that you'd like to see, let me know. And again, I'm more focused towards helping people who are new to programming learn. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Share this with anyone that you think that this might be fun. And I look forward to seeing you. Thanks.